Steve Jewin from MMA Mania. How are you this afternoon?
I'm doing well. How are you doing?
Good. It's always good to talk to you, and we've got a lot to talk about because you're going to defend the lightweight title again at WSOF 29, so you got to be pretty excited with it just being a week away.
Absolutely, yeah. The anticipation is a killer, so yeah, getting there, getting close, and definitely ready.
With this fight, you could have ended up fighting any number of people you fought before, since the winner of the WSOF 25 tournament was the one who went on to face you. You could have ended up facing Rich Petishnock again. You could have ended up facing Luis Palomino for a third time. So were you at all relieved when Brian Foster won and you got a new opponent?
Yeah, I was, but I think Brian Foster was definitely the better man that night. So I think out of the group of guys, he's definitely the one I wanted to fight. I think he's the most game. I think he definitely presents the biggest challenge to me out of all those guys. So it's going to be a tough fight.
And he showed the most heart because he was eliminated actually in the quarterfinals and then came back as an injury replacement. So that says something to come back in the tournament and win 2 fights after being eliminated.
Yeah, no, it definitely does. It's that tournament is a test of wills for sure. So yeah, like I said, I'm glad it was him, and I'm happy to be facing him.
What do you feel are the biggest assets he brings into the fight when he's going up against the undefeated and now possibly 4-time defending champion?
Yeah, I mean, he hits hard. If he connects with that right hand of his, he definitely put pretty much anybody to sleep. So, he brings that to the table. He's got some grappling. So, I'm not sure if he's going to want to grapple or not, but he's just really explosive. His attitude is definitely sets him apart from a lot of other competitors. I definitely respect his attitude when he comes into the cage. So, I'm ready for someone to match my whatever, and just hypeness, my hyperactivity. Someone's going to come in there and match it, and that's going to be a heck of a fight.
I'm sure he will bring that level of activity, but I also wonder what kind of size he'll bring too, because when he debuted in World Series of Fighting, he was actually fighting at welterweight. So obviously he's been successful now at lightweight. That's been proven, but that means still, if he was able to fight at welterweight before, he's going to be a pretty big size guy for you.
Yeah, hopefully he's cutting a lot of weight. I don't cut very much weight. As far as weight cutting, I've learned some critical lessons in wrestling, and my best performances were when I didn't cut weight. So, yeah, hopefully he's cutting a lot of weight.
Do you see a change in the landscape of late? Because a lot of commissions are experimenting with early weigh-ins on the day of the weights or banning weight dehydration altogether. Do you think that's like the future of the sport now, is small weight cuts or no weight cuts?
No. Yeah, the guys that are doing it correctly, it's definitely, but I don't think that's, we're grown men, should be able to cut as much as we want, I'd say. Yeah, I don't know. My state where I'm fighting, or where I haven't fought in a state that has taken any of those precautions yet, so I haven't had to deal with any of that, but it wouldn't be a problem for me other than, I don't dehydrate myself really, but maybe 24 hours outside of the weigh-in. And, I don't cut a lot of weight, but yeah, it might be a problem for some.
I think a lot of the reason it's big news of late is what happened to Dada 5000. Now, admittedly, maybe people should have suspected that wasn't going to work out well anyway, but when you cut 40 pounds the day before you weigh in, that's probably a problem for some people, especially if they aren't full-time athletes.
Exactly, and if you haven't cut that much, the day before, your whole camp wasn't as intense as it should have been, maybe.
Yeah, I would agree with you there. So I know grudge training is definitely an intense camp. In fact, it's kind of dominating this card. Yeah,
we got a couple of our amateur guys on the card. I think 2 or 3 of them. Actually, another professional, Danny Manus, and then 2 amateurs, Joe Guerrero, and I think Justin Parker.
Awesome. So got to be a real
we got
good
5 guys.
Yeah, got to be a great team vibe right now going into this with so many people on the card.
Yeah, definitely. This is not like many sports, the team does matter, having a team around you, but it all comes down to whether you are doing it yourself. You are your biggest opponent.
It's only an hour apart from grudge training to the Greeley, Colorado, Bank of Colorado Arena, so it's going to be a hometown crowd. Not that you haven't had those before, but I'm sure a lot of people that are supporters are going to be there. Yeah,
this is going to be huge. I also wrestled at that college where it's at the University of Northern Colorado. That's where I wrestled and went to school. So, yeah, that definitely a home kind of feel. And but we both train out gyms here in Colorado. So this is big for Colorado MMA, you know, bringing a world title to Colorado and having two Colorado fighters fight for it. So it's just good for MMA in general here.
With the last World Series fighting card, Marlon Moraes actually tied you for the most successful title defenses. Obviously, you win at WSF 29, you leap ahead of him again. You'll have 4 instead of 3. But when he got that third title defense and did it so quickly and so dominating, he immediately said, you know, maybe I should challenge other guys because weight doesn't matter. I could challenge featherweight. I could challenge lightweight. So, first of all, do you see Marlon Moraes in your future? Second of all, do you see yourself doing the same thing at some point?
I mean, no. No on both those questions. Yeah, no, I mean, I'm trying to be the best 155-pounder in the world, and, you know, if the competition's not there, then maybe I'm in the wrong organization for that point in my career. Right now, you know, I think Ryan Foster is as good as challenge as anybody in the UFC. Maybe not every single person, but he would give a heck of a lot of guys in the UFC a tough match at lightweight. So, you know, this is I feel top 20 lightweights going at it.
You want to be the best at one weight, but it seems to be catching on as a trend lately of guys who dominate in one weight class immediately calling out people in the next weight up, because we're seeing the same thing with Conor McGregor in UFC. He's going all the way up to welterweight this weekend.
Hey, that's all about money right there. You know, he didn't even defend his title at 145, so it's not even, I don't know. You should definitely have to, if you're gonna do that, you should maybe run through everybody in the weight class, which I guess maybe he has. I don't know.
I think
that's not for me, though.
Yeah, Frankie Edgar would probably disagree. He'd say, well, you haven't run through me yet.
No, I definitely don't think he needs to fight Frankie. You know, Aldo should probably get a rematch. There's a lot of fights there, but, you know, he's making his own shots right now. I'd be doing the same thing if I was him. You know, he's making a lot of money.
That's true. It is all about the bling bling and the ching ching. So he's making it while he can.
Yep.
But like you said before, you're trying to be the best lightweight in the world, and there's certainly lots of other lightweights out there for you. In fact, I talked about WSOF 28, and they had a contenders fight. Now, a lot of people think that Timur Valiev won that fight. What did you think?
Which one who did he fight?
The Timur Valiev, Chris Gutierrez fight?
I didn't catch that one.
Ah, okay. Well, it looked like they were going to try to crown Valiev as the next person after Foster. You know, you beat Foster, he'd be next in line, but the judges' scorecards
I think there's a couple guys in front of him. I think Firmino and definitely Jason Hyde, Firmino. I mean, maybe him. I don't know. I don't pay attention. I'm in the spot I want to be, and you know, whoever's next, right now, you know, I'm going to call it after, as long as everything goes according to plan. You know, Jason Hyde better be ready. You know, because it's his turn. But really, anybody that's going to want to step up, as long as I keep finishing people, there's not going to be a lot of people that are going to be calling for me.
Unless they think that's their chance to make that bling bling money too. You know, they'll call you out thinking they get a better payday if they get a fight with you.
No, definitely, I agree. Mm-hmm. But the more violent I make it, the less anxious they're going to be.
That's true. And
so that they might try to go a different route. Got to be somebody. So yeah, I mean, I'm really focused on Foster. I think he brings a lot of challenges. You know, pretty good stylistic matchup for me. So we'll see what happens.
Something that keeps coming up as an issue, just like weight cutting keeps coming up. This whole idea that you can take subconcussive blows even without being knocked out. Do you ever worry that maybe your straightforward attacking style at some point is going to accrue too much damage? Yeah,
I think so. If I get hit a lot, yeah. You know, my forwardness is I try to beat him to the punch, so it's kind of a gamble, but you know, I'm getting better every fight. You're going to see an improvement. You know, I came into the sport with my aggressiveness, and that's what's taken me for the most part to where I'm at now. But you know, I've only been fighting professional for 3-4 years, and that's all I've been training as well. So yeah, I'm going to get better every fight. I'm working on my head work, working on my footwork, but you know, it is a fight, and you're going to get hit.
Sounds like you're saying to me you're going to start adopting that approach where you're going to slip the punch and then deliver the counter punch. It's not necessarily you're going to walk straight into him.
Oh, no, definitely not. I'll never adapt that style, but, you know, I guess I see it different than a lot of, I don't know. I don't feel like I get hit a lot, and, you know, there's a difference between going forward and getting hit.
Yeah,
and,
Luis Palomino Louise might disagree with you. I think he feels like he hit you a lot.
He definitely hit me, the one time he rocked me, he hit me in the neck. And I don't know if he had cut the blood off, but it wasn't anything like any other punch that I've ever felt that's actually would knock somebody out. It was on the neck. So I had a very sore neck for 2 weeks after that.
Right.
And then a couple hard shots on the forehead, on the eyebrow. But, that's kind of a setup. I let him hit me once, and then the next punch I hit him with that right hand, so it was kind of set up.
True. But now, speaking of which, you've had good amount of time off since that second Palomino fight, so assuming everything's gone well in camp, you're probably I'm not 100% injury-free, because nobody ever is, but you're not coming into the fight with any major issues.
Nope. No, very, very, very lucky. I'm pushing it hard. Just sometimes it's unfortunate, you take a knee, break a foot, stuff happens, but, I don't know. I've been very lucky. My whole life, my whole wrestling career, I'm crazy active, and I broke my wrist once, and then I broke my arm playing softball once, and that's about it.
That actually does bring up something I wanted to ask you about, because you're so relentlessly focused, both, from your wrestling days and now in your fighting days. What do you do when you're not, athletically, what do you do just to take time off when you're not in there training or having a fight?
Yeah, I like to stay active. I like to snowboard during the winter, get on the water during the summer, and then I like to play a lot of golf. I do a lot of hunting. And that's about it.
What do you like to hunt for? Is it deer, elk, bear? What
deer and elk, yeah, mostly. That's what I like to eat mostly, but I haven't been on a bear hunt. One of my coaches is starting a hunting show, so we're going to go to New Zealand this summer and then hunt, I think, deer. I'm not even exactly sure what we're going to hunt there, and then we're going to go up to Alaska. Yeah, hopefully I'll get a lot of meat in my freezer this winter.
Well, I'm glad to hear you believe in eating what you kill, because I'm not squeamish about hunting, don't get me wrong, but it always bothers me when people just do it for a trophy. It's I feel like you should get more out of it than that.
Oh, absolutely. No, yeah, I definitely don't agree with that kind of hunting. But, I shot a little 2-point in Arizona, and that thing, I still have some meat in the freezer for, going 3 or 4 or 5 months now.
Well, I've got some deer sausage in my freezer that I haven't even gotten to yet. It wasn't even mine. It was given to me by my father, so I still got to get to that.
Nice. That's what I mean. You just freeze it, and it's good to put in some freezer paper. That stuff will stay good for a year.
Well, I hope so, because it's probably been about that long. I got to get to it this summer, grill it before I run out of time. But hey, speaking of running out of time, I know you got a lot of training to do, so I don't want to keep you too long. I want to let you get out some plugs and then get back to the gym.
Cool, yeah. We've got some of my sponsors, Fusion Vapor, Viking Armament, KBL, Open Loop Energy, and then Auto Shopper. Yeah, I'm not sure. I'm going to wear some different shorts. I think I might be wearing some high booster shorts this fight, so I'm pretty excited about that.
Awesome.
And, just thank you for having me.
It's always a pleasure, Justin. You've been one of the most exciting fighters that I've talked to over the years, and you've always put on great performances in World Series of Fighting, so I expect the Brian Foster fight will be nothing but the same. So I'm looking forward to it at the Bank of Colorado Arena.
Absolutely, yep. There's only one way I'm fighting, and that's, I'm going to go in there and try to finish him. He hasn't been knocked out since 2007, so I got a big goal in my mind right now.
Are you promising a knockout then? Is that what you're saying?
I'm promising to try my hardest to knock him out, yes.
All right. Well, we're going to see. Coming up March 12th, we'll look forward to the fight. Thanks again, Justin.
Thank you, Steve. Have a good one.
You too. Bye-bye.